Okay, so I just got done finished watching the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and I want to give my thoughts because I kind of have a lot of thoughts on this, and really, I'm kind of like all over the board. I don't know how many of you kind of feel the way I do, but like I am literally like all over the place with how I feel about these first two episodes. And I don't know if that's where I wanted to be because I really wanted to just jump in and absolutely enjoy this show, which I do. So I don't want to give that like the wrong impression. I absolutely enjoyed the first two episodes, but I have a lot of thoughts on the first two episodes. Now, I avoided the spoilers because I knew I wasn't going to be able to watch it on the first night like everybody else. I actually have to wait and because it's something I watch with my wife. Me and my wife like watching Daredevil, and it was something I wanted to watch with her. So I had to wait till we had like schedules that aligned so we can sit down and watch the first two episodes. And I have thoughts on it. Like I said, I avoided spoilers. I don't know like what other people are saying or thinking about it at all. I've been avoiding social media. So I sat down and watched the first two episodes. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't seen the first two episodes, then just click out of this video now because I'm about to spoil a whole bunch of crap in my thoughts here because like I said, like I am all over the board. So if you have not seen it, if you're waiting, if you think this is just going to be like, oh, hey, maybe you should go check this out or maybe you shouldn't, this is the wrong video for you because I'm going to get into heavy spoiler territory within this video. So right off the bat, the first 15 minutes of this episode is absolutely insane. So before I get into the first 15 minutes, because here's the thing. There's a lot. Like, remember when I told you, like, my mind is everywhere? That's the way I kind of feel right now. Like, my mind is everywhere. I guess I could start off by saying, did I enjoy the first two episodes? Yes, I enjoyed the first two episodes. I think this is probably, other than Andor, the best quality Disney Plus series that we have gotten in terms of writing and acting and the cinematography and the music. Holy crap, the music. I'm so happy that they brought back the original Netflix Daredevil music because one of the biggest problems with Disney and these Disney Plus shows is they don't like to use music from the IP, right? All the Star Wars series refuses to use Star Wars music. They come out with this generic sci-fi music instead of actually giving the music that fans look like fans listen to that music and they automatically think of that IP. For some reason, Disney and Disney Plus doesn't like doing that. None of the Disney Star Wars shows has any Star Wars music, and you can just tell it just doesn't have that flavor. So big props for actually getting that Daredevil Netflix theme back. And not only that, as the first two episodes go, they kind of remix it, right? And they kind of do like a remix with that theme, and I really like the remix of it. So that's a big props. I really did enjoy this show. But I have a lot of issues with the show as well. Like I said, in terms of, writing, acting, cinematography, the music, the score, all that, like this is up there with the best that Disney Plus has produced, right next to Andor. I think those two are neck and neck. I want to see more adultish type content, right? Give us some of that like Netflix, HBO Max, that Apple TV flavor. Stop with this kiddie crap. It's okay to do it, but give us variety. And I think in terms of that, it's right up there. It's edgy, it's dark, all that stuff. But there are certain things where I'm like, oh, you just had to kind of Disney this up a little bit, didn't you? And I'm gonna get into that. The part where it's like, oh, Disney it up a little bit. The one thing that surprised me right off the bat, getting into spoiler, is that you kill Foggy Nelson within the first 10 minutes of the series. The first 10 minutes of the first episode, you automatically just kill Foggy Nelson. That pissed my wife off to no end. It pissed me off too because the marketing was very heavily like Karen Page, Foggy, Punisher, Kingpin, like the Netflix characters are coming back, and then here comes Bullseye, clap clap, boom, Foggy, you're dead. Like, bro, you've been trying to kill Karen Page for 2 seasons. Why don't you just cap Karen Page? Killing Foggy, and we're gonna get into reason why killing Foggy was a bad idea because guess what they do? They Disney-fied it. And again, take this what I said. I can't believe I had to keep repeating myself because you're going to get people in the comments going, oh, here he goes again. I liked the first 2 episodes, but that doesn't mean that exempts it from criticism. Disney does what Disney does, and it Disneyfies it. It adds that diversity, and you're not going to change my mind on this one because they literally kill Foggy Nelson. And that's a plot point to say, hey, we're getting Foggy out and we're going to replace him with a female of diverse race. So now we kill off Foggy, the white male, and we're going to put diversity in there. And to take his place, we got a female dark-skinned character. Now, I don't hate the character. I'm fine with the character. I kind of enjoyed the character, but you can't sit there and look at it and go, oh, obviously they killed Foggy because they wanted to make sure there's more diversity within this series. And not only that, they use that as a plot point that Karen Page has to move to like California. She has to move to San Francisco. So in her place, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a diverse character who is a former police officer that's going to help Matt Murdock. So we kill off the 2 established characters. Well, they don't kill off. Foggy is dead, but they write Karen off the show, whether she returns later on or not. That's yet to be seen. But right off the bat, within the first 15 minutes, if you're using your brain and you use it logically, they automatically find a plot point to get these 2 characters off the screen so we can put diversity within here. I don't mind, but I don't know if this was part of the reshoots. I don't know if these 2 characters were supposed to be part of the reshoots, and then they're like, hey, fans aren't going to dig this. We need to bring Foggy and Karen back and at least explain the situation. They're saying this is a sequel to Daredevil Season 4, but there's a lot of inconsistencies within that. Like how the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, I reversed that crap. Wilson Fisk, the fact that he's running for mayor, the last time we seen this character in the Netflix series, Matt Murdock beat the living crap out of him and gave him this, like, there was no way Fisk was going to be able to get out of that situation. And how do they explain that in this one? By not mentioning it. That's how they're explaining it. How did Wilson Fisk get away with everything that happened in Daredevil Season 3? Well, that's simple. We won't tell you. How did the Emperor come back to life? We're not going to tell you. The dark side is the pathway to many abilities. Some might be unethical or whatever the Emperor said. But that's pretty much it. How did Wilson get away with what he did in Season 3? Because Season 3, he did a lot of crap, guys. And there was no way he was easily just going to get out of that, disappear for a little while, and then come back and run for mayor and win in the first episode. I thought maybe this whole season was going to be him running for mayor, and we were going to learn about the backstory of how he went about doing all that stuff and what happened. But nope. But hey, we tied it into the Echo and Hawkeye, though, because we had to throw that in there about how he got shot and how he had someone he was mentoring and he had to disappear. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we're not going to explain how he got out of that situation in Season 3. We're not going to show it. We're not going to tell it. We're going to hope that you guys just did not pay attention to it. So those are some of the nitpicks I had. I don't think those are nitpicks. I think those are valid criticisms. Things that I do like when we talk about diversity, and I doubt anybody's going to stick around to my video because once I talk about how the diversity thing didn't work, people probably already left the thumbs down and said, oh, you're racist, whatever. But where diversity does work is bringing Ben Urich's niece in this. Okay, that's great, man. Hey, she's a reporter, sort of, doing her little BB report on the mean streets of New York. Hey, I'm down with that. Hey, Ben Urich's niece. Okay, awesome. That fits. I can go for that. You know what would be really awesome? If she teamed up with Karen Page. That would be, Karen Page. Ben Urich was her mentor. That would be awesome. But what do I know, And hey, what happened to the reporter guy that Karen was working for? We ain't gonna mention that guy either. No. We only got enough room in here for some diverse characters. But I'm going off on a tangent, and it makes it sound like I don't like it. but I do like it. I like the slow burn of it. I like the fact that we start off with an action scene right in the beginning. We start off with this awesome action scene. We got this Daredevil music going on. Bullseye is doing Bullseye stuff. He's coming out, no remorse, just capping people, kills Foggy in the first 15 minutes. Loved every second of that. Had me at the edge of the seat. I'm like, I am ready to go. Then we build into the story of Kingpin has come back. He's running for mayor. We have the one-on-one confrontation with him and Matt Murdock. Like, man, I haven't seen these guys together since season 3, man. It was intense. I still remember Matt going, I beat you. Like, I'm like, this is going to be crazy. It was breakfast at a diner with a conversation. Sure. I didn't have the intensity that I was hoping for, but sure. I thought it all started off, and then we get to the whole, what I think the overlining plot is going to be, where this guy who we find out is White Tiger saved this dude in the subway. 2 cops were beating him down. 1 cop accidentally gets killed, and now this guy's being framed as a cop killer, and we see Matt Murdock taking on the case. One of my favorite things about Daredevil, especially the Mark Bagley run of Daredevil in the comics, is that we have great court scenes, something that was missing from the She-Hulk. She-Hulk should have been a serious court drama with superhero stuff on the side. I like the whole court drama that's going on. That's one of my favorite things about the Netflix Daredevil as well. Super down with that. Loved how we're just building this burn. He gave up the suit again after Foggy's death. It pushed him to the edge where Matt Murdock had to do something he never done before, and he just gave up and he tried to kill Bullseye. Did not work. How that did not work, they did not explain. I don't know how dude has his back broken in season 3, comes back, falls off a 40 floor building and still is alive. I'm curious if they're going to explain that. I don't know. But maybe he's got some of that super soldier serum from Incredible Hulk. I don't know. That seems to be just going around everywhere. But, and I like the fact he's taking on this case, and he's doing a really good job until the end of episode 2, where these cops try to take him out, and Matt Murdock's like, nah. And he just starts beating the crap out of these cops, and it gets super, super violent. Like, it does push, like, what the Netflix series does in terms of violence and blood and stuff. It does that. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I liked the first 2 episodes. I don't love the first 2 episodes. I like the new characters. I come out and I criticize the reason why these characters are here. That doesn't mean I dislike the characters. I don't mind. And another thing that kind of just threw me off the loop was everything has changed. Matt is no longer living in that runchy old loft. He's got like this high-end apartment now. He's actually got a closet with suits and everything. He's got this big law firm now with actual offices. Like they really kind of like made this guy up. And it kind of reminds me when they made Peter Parker rich in the comics. I remember when Peter Parker created like the Parker Foundation, and he was like all successful and he was rich now and all that. And that was really like the worst run for Spider-Man. I want to see Peter Parker who's down on his luck, who's just like me. I don't want to see successful Peter Parker who's a rich playboy rich playboy who's got all this money and cars and stuff. It just felt kind of weird. Like, we had Matt Murdock who was in this bad situation, horrible apartment, loft, whatever, and now he's got like a big law firm and fancy apartment. They don't really explain how any of that happened. It's just like, hey, how did Kingpin get away with the situation from season 3? Hey, we're just not going to mention it. And that's how they do it. And how did Daredevil get all this stuff? Hey, we're just not going to mention it. A few years passed. He took on a couple cases, man, and things did good for him. You know what I mean? But that's sort of the problems that I have with it, is you can't help but look at the death of Foggy Nelson and then see who his replacement was and go, this was just a plot point to get the white man out, the established character out, so we can put a diversity character in there. Not saying the character is bad, but you cannot look at it and say, hey, that's what it is. That's the way I felt watching it. And then you take Karen Page, usher her out, bring in a whole... Now Matt Murdock has a whole other cast of side characters. And I don't think that they realize that we love Daredevil not just because of Matt Murdock and Kingpin. We love Daredevil because of the cast of characters. We loved it because of Ben Urich in season 1 and Karen Page and Foggy Nelson and Mercy. What happened to Mercy? Right? No one calls Mercy, hey, yeah, Foggy got shot. Yeah, Bullseye came and just capped him. Marcy, hey, how about we see a funeral with, Matt Murdock embracing Marcy or Karen Page embracing Marcy? No, we're not going to mention that. Marcy? Who's Marcy? What? Nah. It just, the way he just completely glossed over all that stuff, that did kind of bother me. That did kind of bother me. It's just like, you can't not look at that. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, guys. Like, look, like we care about the side characters. I care about that reporter guy that Karen worked for. I cared about the father of the church that Bullseye murdered in season 3. I cared about these side characters, and within 15 minutes, you replaced all the side characters with all these new characters without giving us any real chance to kind of like lead up to them. It's just like, hey, everybody you like is gone, and here's these new characters. And that has a lot to do with the fact that this show was being shot as something different. And just like Captain America, Brave New World, they went in and they did reshoots because they said, hey, we're going to try to give them more. Because remember, this thing was like delayed heavily because they went back and did so many reshoots, and then they added Foggy and Karen. They were just afterthoughts. They weren't part of the plot, and you can see it with the assassination of Foggy within the first 15 minutes. And then they go out and they usher out this press tour with all these characters that we love, basically promising us, this is season 4, this is season 4, and then you kill Foggy and get rid of Karen Page in the first 15 minutes, and I'm like, bitch, what's going on here? And then you just look at it and you're like, why did they do it? And then you find out why they did it. You find out exactly why they did it. And then it's Disney doing Disney stuff. Disney can't get out of their own Disney ass to do stuff. And I don't know why I'm going on a tangent. I'm still ranting about this, right? Like, I don't know. But that's my thoughts. I have problems with it. I liked the first 2 episodes. I can't wait for the next episode. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's exempt from criticism, because I think there's a lot of criticism to go around. Maybe I am in a small minority of people that feel that way, but as a fan who massively loves the Daredevil Netflix universe, that recently went back and binged all 3 seasons, including Defenders, with my wife to prep for this, I have problems with some of the choices that they decided to go with this. With that said, loved what I got so far. Loved a strong word. I take that back. I enjoyed what I got so far. Let's see where it continues to go as it crosses the finish line. Again, liked it. Thought it was probably the best acted, directed, all that. I'm not even gonna, I already repeated that like 4 times. If you guys don't get that and you just want to call me a bigot or racist, then fine, you can call me that or not. But that's the way I feel about it, and I feel like it does have stuff that is warrant for criticism. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, you can go fuck yourself. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.